Hi guys, how are you all doing? Today I'm really excited to be doing a website review for a SEO legend, and his name, and you've probably heard of him, is Brian Dean. He's the founder of backlinko.com, and he writes just some absolutely amazing link building content, SEO content. The guy is just the expert, a legend in terms of SEO and link building in particular. So welcome, Brian. Really excited to have you here.
Hey, it's good to be here, Rich, especially after an introduction like that. that was probably the best one I've ever had.
Wow. Well, that's very kind words for you. All right. Do you want to just talk a little bit about yourself, about your website, what you're trying to achieve with it, why you're looking for help? That would be fantastic.
Sure. So my blog, like I said, is Backlinko, and it focuses on content marketing and link building strategies for entrepreneurs, affiliate marketers, and marketing professionals, so people who work in a company as an internet marketer. So with my site, basically traffic is good. You can never have enough traffic, right? But I'm pretty happy with the traffic levels that I'm getting. I'm getting about 50,000 visitors a month.
Yeah,
so it's about almost 40,000 uniques a month. So traffic's good. I mean, I'll take more, but at this point I realize that I've been focusing way too much on traffic and way too little on conversion rates. So I looked online and Rich and I connected, and I realized that he was the best person to go to help me with some practical ways that I could turn more of my visitors into subscribers and ultimately buyers.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, looking forward to helping improve your conversion rates and getting even more people signed up for your updates and some of your other goals we will talk about right now, actually. So you're mainly a blog, and your main website goal really is to get people to sign up to your newsletter, which you can see on your homepage. But can you kind of talk about any other goals that you are trying to sell, on the back end, for example?
Sure.
Campaigns?
So the number one goal is definitely the newsletter, is email subscribers, because, the old adage, internet marketing adage, the money's in the list, still true today, in my opinion. So whatever I end up doing in the future, that list is my number one asset. So that's my number one goal. And then from there, I also have a business training course that I sell called SEO That Works. And that's mainly offered to the list. So it's not something I have on the website. It's not something I publicly really offer. It's something that's registration is only open a few times a year for the list. And that's basically my entire business, because I get plenty of people that sign up for the course. So conversion in that sense is fine. But like conversion from the list into people who buy the course is quite high. But I would like to get more of this like ice cold traffic into the list, so then I can build relationships with the people and help them before I try to sell them anything.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. But yeah, we'll cover that in a bit more detail later on. So let's get started. So before I continue, I just want to talk about how I'm going to do this. So feel free to jump in and ask me any questions you want during this. We'll try and stick to about 30 minutes or so. Any questions you want, or I want you to find the most use out of this as possible. As you have, we can cover any particular pages that you want, and I'm going to talk about it through the eyes of a conversion expert, that's myself, but I'm also going to be through the eyes of a first-time visitor, because it's really that you cater to their needs and understand what they might be thinking about your website, different pages, even what it looks like, understanding what they might be looking at first, because if you don't understand that, then there's a higher chance that you're not going to be meeting their needs, and they're going to be, going back to Google and searching for something else about search, and you've lost them. And obviously you're going to, because you're an expert, you won't find that as much of an issue, but it's still important to make sure that you try and cater to their needs as much as possible. So, okay,
sounds good.
All right, cool. So I am looking at your homepage right now. Hopefully you can see this, right? Okay, cool. So I'm on your backlinko.com homepage, and I can get it on Firefox. So know that if anything looks a bit strange, it might be because of that. And the reason why I'm looking at it on Firefox is because it is no longer the most common browser. I know a lot of people look at their websites on Chrome now, because that is the most browser. So if you see anything that is looking strange, that's why. And often even small CSS things can make things look strange and affect people's perceptions of websites and therefore your conversion rates. So that's important to understand.
Okay.
All right. So I am on your homepage, and I'm just going to give you my quick initial thoughts of it in terms of what first-time visitors might be thinking, and also what I'm thinking. So I'm there, and I immediately see your smiling face. It's a great picture of you. It's a nice professional quality photo. Immediately,
I hired a guy to do that.
Great. Well, that's good. Nice.
But my money was well spent.
Yeah, no, I very, very, very powerful there. And I immediately see this kind of feature area here. I'll show you my best SEO strategies free. I was like, oh, that's a very nice offer, which is good. And then when you sign up below, I'll show you how to. And I see these check marks here. And these are very good check marks, because this immediately is building the value proposition of why someone should sign up to your updates. I'll mention, which is obviously fantastic. He's one of the authoritative people in online marketing at the moment. So that's so I like that. I'm going to scroll down, and I immediately see blog content. So I see, going to keep on scrolling. Very good at what he's talking about. He's getting a lot of comments, and also he's getting a lot of shares. So that 230 likes, 500. That's some really, really high social proof numbers there. So I immediately see that really going to be helping build social proof for your visitors that your content is good. So that's really good that you have that. And it's good that you're using just a short snippet here, so that you've got the click to continue, and you've got a nice visual image to have this and not just have it be text, which is good. I'm going to scroll down. Okay, more. Yeah, you've got three is good. I mean, you could probably even add another couple on there, just in case your visitors don't, really click with any of these in particular, which I'm sure they will, because you do write such fantastic content. And then I'm immediately going to look over to the right-hand side here, which is, this is the same for all of your blog articles. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pretend that I've arrived on this page, your latest article on SEO techniques.
Okay.
And then we'll look at it through the eyes of this, because I imagine this is really going to be the view that most people are going to be looking at that arrive on your website. You've got a lot of traffic to your homepage, good, and we'll go back to the feature box in a minute, but we'll just discuss your blog article template. Okay, so I've arrived here. I see one of the things I immediately want to get here is I see Backlinko, and it's a nice, like a website name. I think what it lacks is having a nice tagline, right, to explain what they're going to get on this site and what value. Keep it under 5, 6 words if you can. And you can use that to help build a value proposition and also set expectations of what someone's going to get. I mean, it's quite obvious that it's SEO, but you never know. They might think that you only do backlinks. You might want to just expand on that slightly. That's
a good idea. I would have never thought of that. That's a good idea.
Okay, that's great. And the other thing I immediately see is that you have a really small navigation at the top, and there isn't in it. It goes home, about, contact. So it's very standard, generic, not really that exciting wording. You've got the, which is good, but contact, about, and home, it's very vanilla, and I think you could do a lot better with that. So what I would do is I would have a navigation menu go horizontal across here, and I'm going to talk about navigation before I go into your actual main content. I would expand this up here. So one thing you're definitely missing is you don't have a start here page. I think it's really important to help visitors when they get to a site know what they show do on your website first, because you've got so much information for them. You want to really help guide them. I'll show you a really good example of this.
Yeah, it's good.
And I use this example quite a lot. It's a Pat Flynn's Smart Income. he has a really good Start Here page. You see right here, Start Here, Passive Income 101. Right. I think. See, this is the type of navigation menu that I think is much more prominent. It's used a lot. I think that shows you the potential of what you could do. And here's his Start Here page. You see, he has a great picture of himself, first of all.
Yeah, that is a really good one.
And then he talks about all the different definitions, how we can help you, videos, and there's some lead gen things on this page too.
Okay.
So that's something you can definitely use as an example for navigation. You'll cover your About page in a little bit. I know you want to talk about that in specific. And then you could also have even a navigation option for best content, so that people can immediately get to a page where your best content on it, because you've got so much. And this is really going to help visitors in its current state, because I'll talk about this now. Is one thing I noticed. And we've talked about this before, is that you don't have an internal search box, either in the top right here or on the right-hand menu in here. And I think you said this because Derek Halpern mentioned that you shouldn't have one, right? Is that right?
Well, it wasn't that he said you shouldn't have one. It's that the issue is, in his opinion, is that if you don't have a lot of posts on your site, and someone does a search and they don't get what they want, it's obviously not a good user experience. And I only have 18 posts on the site.
Oh, really? Is that few? I didn't know.
So I only have 18 posts on the site. So the likelihood of someone searching for something and getting exactly what they put into that box is quite low.
Okay.
So that's why I don't have the search. If I had a huge site, I'd be more likely to want to incorporate that. But maybe it's something I could test. I could put it on there, type in some keywords, and see what kind of results people will get. Because that's the only reason I don't have it. People complain quite a bit about not having it.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
But that's why. I mean, but the thing is, they complain because if they used it, they may find that it's actually not very good for my site.
Okay.
They just have so few pages on there.
I mean, that's a good amount of content now. I mean, 18, that means if you only had like 10 pages or something, then yeah, fair enough. But with 18, and I think because you write such long content, that this will pull good results, because you do mention so many different things in your content. It's not like you have very short posts. So I think that's really going to help. But the other reason why I think it's good, not only in terms of helping visitors, when they get onto your site and they can't find something that they want to know, they've talked about it before. Maybe there's a particular link building strategy that they've heard somewhere.
Okay.
And they've scrolled down the site here and they see your popular articles, but it doesn't seem to mention those. They might think, okay, well, I don't see any other navigation. How am I going to get to that? There's no, you don't have any other way of browsing your content, as I mentioned, because your navigation menu is very limited at the top, and you don't have traditional things like having categories. I'm not saying have categories, but that will definitely help people find what they're looking for. And then the other reason why is because it's going to give you some great insights into what people are searching for. So you might find, when you look in Google Analytics, that they're searching for something that you haven't written anything about yet, that they're really curious. So it's going to give you some great insights into what you can be creating content regarding. And then you can even run those searches for your top keywords on your own site to see if it doesn't give you very good results. And if it doesn't, then consider writing something about that.
Right.
Okay, so that's just some navigational stuff at the top. I like your color scheme, by the way. It's nice and simple. I like the green and the gray. So it's nice and simple. It doesn't need to be crazy like some of these blogs you see out there. There's no advertising. There's nothing saying click me, and there's no ads or nothing really annoying. So I think that works well for you. Okay. So I look through your sidebar now.
Okay.
And this is your major site goal here. Get updated. It's free. Okay, it's good. Learn how to build length. Help you get more search engine traffic with the backlink and newsletter. I think it's good, but you could do so much better with it in terms of the value proposition of why someone would do that. I mean, you've got to learn links, but I think you need to be mentioning things like get my best content sent to you automatically.
Okay.
Learn the secrets and the tips that I talk about, and you also, I think you mentioned this in some of your other call to actions, that you get content that you might not get on my blog. So if you make it seem like you're going to get exclusive content newsletter, I think you'll get more people subscribing to that.
Okay. So if I have to choose between two offers, the newsletter is a lower value than exclusive stuff.
Yes.
Which makes sense. That makes sense, because newsletter is kind of a commodity, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just not as exciting. I mean, this is for doing A/B testing on, and you definitely have enough traffic to Visual Optimizer or something to test the different wording and the offer that you're having in there, and you can test having an image in there of what it is.
Okay.
That will help draw attention to it.
Okay.
And then one other thing that I would definitely mention in this, make it a bit more fun, is this. This is an amazing testimonial. It really is. You really need to really emphasize that more to make that stand out.
You think a lot of people know Neil?
I think that so many people know Neil now. It's not even.
Well, he's the man, basically, so it makes sense.
Yeah, he's just writing so much amazing content out there, and he's just spreading his message everywhere. Right. So I think if you added, in particular here, his picture next to it, people will know he's a very distinctive-looking person as well, so that will help. This is building social proof again, and this is really expert social proof, so it's going to help make people think, oh, I really should do that.
Okay.
And then one other thing regarding social proof I think you should do is you should also mention how many subscribers you have. And I think if I'm wrong, but you have a lot of subscribers, right?
It's pretty good.
And here's an example of something you can do to build social proof while I'm still talking about it. And here's a couple of examples on other websites. This is SalesLine website, the SalesLine website. If you scroll down to the right side here, you see his way of building social proof here. He's got this great little box that mentions how many fans he has, how many followers he has, how many subscribers he has. That really helps build social proof.
Okay.
Another example.
First-time people especially, right?
Exactly. It will make people think that your content's amazing and that people will like you. If you had numbers that were even higher than this, it's going to make your site look even way better for social proof. And you'll get more people clicking those buttons too, because they'll want to do it too.
Okay.
So I don't really notice an easy way to follow you on Twitter or Facebook or even subscribe via RSS, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but at least mentioning how many people you have. Because I noticed down here, you've got here, follow backlinko, and that's it.
Yeah, it's a little thing.
Buried away at the bottom there. So I would, and then here's another example on the Social Media Examiner website. Do a really good job of this. Check out this. Join 230,000 readers. Get our latest articles delivered to your email inbox and pre-Facebook video tutorial. I think this would turn out extremely well. And look at this. I love it. Wow. Fantastic wording.
It's a good button. It is really great.
I really like this one in particular.
Once I get 230,000 subscribers, I'll just copy that. That's insane. They get 230,000 subscribers.
It really is. That's an amazing amount.
Unbelievable.
Well, this gives you some good food for thought of how to increase the number of conversions from this. Another thing here is also that you won't spam people.
Right.
Some people it's a real big thing. Like they're not sure, so they don't want to trust you. And if they see, promise we won't spam you or something nice like that, don't just put privacy policy, because that's very archaic and not exciting.
Right.
Like personality.
Okay, because I was reading something, right? I'd like to hear your take on that. That someone did a split test and they found that it didn't make that much of a difference because they felt that people who saw the spam, not we don't spam, it's kind of like don't think about pink elephants, and they were kind of like, oh, they wouldn't even think, because you're talking about there's a percentage of people that are very concerned about it, but there's maybe another group that wouldn't even cross their mind, and then when they see it, they're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, sure. It's the same thing regarding security fields as well in
okay.
shopping carts, and I hear exactly the same thing. But all I can say is that yes, I'm sure that does happen, but I think that's more the exception to the rule.
Okay.
Definitely test it. From what I've seen and what I've seen case studies, more often than not, it will help you.
Right. It makes sense that it would help, but I was just bringing that up because I read that and I wanted to hear your advice.
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm just going to continue looking down your sidebar here. So you've got, this is great. I really like this. Helpful resources, how to rank for any keyword, and it looks like it's going to be video because you've got this play button in there. That's good. It's nicely, it looks like you spent some money creating that. It's good style, good font layout.
Actually, but not that much, but Elance guy.
Okay. So these are good, and this one's even better. I love it. It just looks great. It makes you want to click it.
Cool.
Probably get a lot of traffic. And what I would suggest is, so you know how many people are using these, you can put link tracking on these to see which one is being clicked the most. And you can even put link tracking on your popular articles to see what it is that's being clicked the most. So it gives you an idea.
I have Crazy Egg on there, and that does that.
Crazy Egg's good for individual pages, but when you're trying to aggregate different templates, it really work as well for doing stuff like that. Whereas if you just link tracking, you can pull a report in Google Analytics, and you can do, even impact on conversion rates. So
all right, cool. Just one question about that. The top one, the video, I'm not really trying to ironically rank that for any keyword.
Okay.
But the one below it is actually on the first page for the keyword link building. So I want to make sure that link is the link I'm trying to rank. Is there a way to track it without actually changing the URL?
Yeah, it doesn't change the URL. You just add on a different link campaign at the end of it. So you don't actually change the URL. It comes through with a different link on the end of it.
So when people click on it only.
Yeah, exactly. Only when people click on that, but it won't change the actual page name in SEO.
Okay, cool.
Or the other way you can actually, it doesn't even affect what it says in URL. You can trigger events. So in Google Analytics, you can set an on-click and measure these as events, and then you can find out that way too. So that's the other way you can also track it.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. Okay, I think this stuff is good, and you've got your popular articles, which is good. I think if you had some kind of reason why they are popular, like if you add tweets next to it, or some other social proof element, that will help even more.
Okay.
It's just a simple. So just another thing with this about section is you need make it linkable so that people can read more about you, because that's it. You can't click on anything. That's just a real thing to improve
should
that.
I link that to the sign up page or my about page?
I would send it to your about page, because if your about page is good enough, and it has the opt-in, which it does, then I think it will achieve what you're looking for.
And where should I put the link for that?
Make the photo clickable, and then I would just below here just say learn more about me here, or learn more how I can help you.
That's a good idea. That's like QuickSprout. How's that?
Yeah. So add that in there.
Good idea.
Your social media icons in the sidebar, I like how it's sticking.
Okay.
So right. That's going to be helping you increase the use of social proof and get more people clicking.
Mm-hmm.
This is good. I like this. You've got to follow him here on Twitter. One thing I noticed, we've talked about this before, is that you don't have your dates on here.
Yeah.
In some ways, I think it's good, and in some ways, I think it's bad, because if you take them off, it makes it more evergreen content that's very popular. But in the same respect, people won't know if this is old content. So particularly with SEO, and SEO techniques can change so often, I think it's valuable for you to add something in this.
I like your solution. It's brilliant, actually. I just haven't got around to doing it. That's a perfect compromise. You should just say what it is.
Yeah. I'll open up my website to show people what I just mentioned there. So I found this great resource. I was hunting for a long time on. It was really bothering me that there was no other workaround for showing a date that's not too old for your old content. So I found, I think it was WP Beginner, a great alternative. to show a more recent date if it is older. So this is it last updated.
Yeah.
So anytime you change your WordPress, it will change this to be last updated. So, I mean, I launched this in October, and look, it makes it look like I only launched it 2 weeks ago. So it just makes it seem like, oh, this is new and fresh content. At least test adding it on there. And it's just a one piece of PHP code. It's simple.
Yeah.
Really easy
I should
to add.
do that. I get people that complain about that, but I think that's a good compromise because it's truthful, so it really has been updated on that day, which is most important to me, and then also it gives people what they want to see, which is when it's last updated. And
then on the homepage, I would just go ahead and make it say the date that it was published, because that way people will instantly see, oh, look, you did a post 2 weeks ago. That makes
you can do that. You can have it show.
Yep, you can change it by page. So look here on my homepage. See, it says last date updated here, and then I have. So this is the actual date that it was launched. So
that's cool.
Simple.
It is simple, but good.
People might just think, okay, when was this launched? And I know other blogs do this, but I think it sometimes makes it look a bit like a ghost town, even though you've got these great numbers here, which obviously make it look much better. But it's always good to know when it was roughly done.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, because I think you know how it is. There's a silent majority of people that are really put off by the lack of a date, right? And and the fact that some people are, like, for every one person that hits me up on Twitter and says, why don't you have dates, there's probably 10 people that don't say anything but don't like it.
Yeah, more, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And particularly for your field, as I said, because SEO is, techniques.
Exactly.
These techniques are very different than they were 2 years ago.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. Well, let's continue down the page. So you've got some fantastic content. I really love how you write. You write nice long content. Lots of examples. Lots of pointing out to this is all fantastic. For example, here, the reader has got here's the next step, and you've got the tweet, which is good. So if they want to tweet.
Right.
And you're encouraging people to comment, and you're asking questions, and you have this here, but on something like this, with a few tweaks on here again, I think we could improve it even more. Sign up for the free backlink newsletter. I think it's again the same issue that I was talking about. Right, it just doesn't seem that exciting. Just sign up to a newsletter, and I think it kind of doesn't do you any justice. Here's the wording that here. This is the insight case studies not found on the blog. So I think if you said get exclusive pre-updates up here, you won't find on my blog, that would really skyrocket this. They really do. People want exclusive stuff. They want stuff that no one else knows about.
Makes sense.
Or the other thing you can do here is this is another approach you could test, and certainly do A/B testing for this. Is write a little short guide, and then you have loads of these that you have in different guises. So you can test offering a free ebook in addition to these free updates, and you can see whether it's having a headline asking if they want to sign up for this guide works better than having wording that mentions insider tips that aren't found in the blog.
Okay.
So
and how do you feel about because I like your offer on your site a lot, because it's like a toolbox. So the perceived value is quite a bit higher, right?
Yeah. The perceived value is, I mentioned what it's even worth.
Okay.
So I've got they're worth $200 in here, and I'm saying unique. So I'm trying to mention they won't get it elsewhere. And then I mentioned this, we won't spam you. This is using opt-in skin. That one is.
And it does well?
Yeah, it does really well. When I added this, it definitely helped increase conversions.
What do you think of the wording, like, around the button? Now that I'm looking at it, it's not that good.
Yeah, it's a bit generic. Enter your email for instant access, or you can just say get. You've got the word get, which is good. Get, and you can say get free instant, get free access. I mean, free, you don't really need to there, but I think if you just mention the we won't spam you, and then any social proof you can have. So add the Neil Patel thing down here.
Oh, okay.
when you do have enough subscribers and you want to write that down there, I will put that down. But yeah, I think it's nice and visual that you've got this on there, so I'll definitely leave in this. This is good.
You leave that like it is? I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice and visual and it helps draw this desire to it. But if you do have an ebook with a real catchy short title, I think that would work even better. So
okay, all right.
So one thing that I did some, as we talked about earlier, some Google Analytics analysis for you, and I found that a lot of your blog articles aren't converting particularly as high as you would want them to, often less 1%, which is often the case with blog articles. You know, people come and they read and they go. So one of the really good ways to try and stop that from happening is this. But building on that even further is using a pop-up. Now, not just an annoying pop-up, but doing one that picks them just before they leave with an exit intent, as it's called. And this is what I tried using on my site, using Opt-in Monster, and it really helped skyrocket my conversion rate. So I was getting only about 2% conversion for my blog article. And for example, for my Toolbox blog article, when I put that on there, the conversion rate went up to 45%, which is that's as high as it went. Like I was like, wow, that's just amazing. But again, about what you put in there. It's not just about having the pop-up. It's the messaging you're putting in there. I use I'm not showing any other trigger on my website, no, because I've got cookies. But it basically says, get my toolbox before I start charging for it. Make it incentivizing it and getting people to act quicker. Okay, so that's the footer, and so basically what we're talking about opt-ins, pop-up exit intent ones for your site. So what you could do is, so when someone goes up here, it pops up with a light box in the background. That's something that you could definitely do, and what I would suggest is you could even do page-specific ones. So depending on what about, you could make the opt-in language be similar to the page that that's just been on. That will really help as well. That's
a really good idea. And you can do that with Opt-in Monster?
Yeah, you can do that with Opt-in Monster. You can create as many as you want and have them be exit intent, and also have different messaging depending on which page you want it to pop up on, which is good. You can do
really cool. That's a good idea.
Yes. Okay, so we're back on your homepage. I was just going to talk about other things on here. Is having social proof elements in here, things like expert mentions. I know you've done a lot of guest blogging. You could have a bar down the bottom here saying I've been featured in these well-known sites. That will help build your social proof, and just say what makes you the expert if you can in here too. That will you could have one line in here saying I run a course on building links, for example. That's going to help understand why someone should use you, which is another thing I think that you should consider. Is that I know you said you only do it once or twice a year, the course, but I think you could have a link, one of these in here about getting people to a pre-registration or opt-in page. Right. Because right now you would have no idea that you actually do anything else apart from have a free newsletter, and some might be wondering, well, how does this guy make money?
Yeah, a lot of people actually email me and ask me that, believe it or not.
That's funny.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
And they would probably be glad to put their email address in. Because obviously people love your content, so if you put a box here saying interested in my upcoming course, even if it's way, people will put their email address in.
It's really good. I have a squeeze page on there now if you want to look at it.
Okay, sure.
On the course, it's SEOthatworks.com.
Okay.
It's not very robust, and I think that's also could use a lot of work. I just put it up there because it was nothing. Okay. And I mean, we could probably spend 20 minutes on this, but
I think the main thing you want to add on here is really value proposition. And exclusivity, and say if there's only 20 spots available, that's really going to help. But but there's not. That's the thing. I'm adverse to doing that kind of stuff. Okay, but something
because it's not. If it was limited, but it's not. You know what I mean? So it's limited in the sense that it's only open on occasion.
Okay, well then mention that instead, exactly. If you're only opening it twice a year, that will help.
Yeah, it'd be better if I had limited repetitions, because like you said, that'd be awesome. That's crazy, because a lot of people do have that and put that.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I mean, it makes anyone want to sign up.
And then just adding a testimonial on there of someone, even if you want to keep it nice and simple, just add a testimonial like, I did Brian's course and it increased my SEO traffic by 1,000%.
Oh, that's a good idea, man. I have a lot of testimonials just like sitting around because I use them from students, and I put them on the enrollment page when that's open. But I never thought of putting it on here, but it makes perfect sense.
And then the background's nice. It's different, but you kind of lose the logo on it. Kind of, if you put some white background over this, I think this would be fine.
Okay.
And then potentially say when this is qualified a bit more very soon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the main thing is, again, to get people to that page in the first place. So one other thing I did notice that I think you really need to do is, when I was looking through your web analytics, I noticed you're getting a lot of traffic from mobile, and your conversion rates are half what they are on your website. So it's real simple to either get a mobile optimized WordPress page that does it for you, or you, if you're considering a redesign in the future, make it be responsive. That works really well. And you can see that on, this is on Pat's website again. So when you make it smaller, like here, as you...
I see. That's cool. And mine does not do that.
No. Yours just shrinks to the, look, go back to here, look.
That's not good. Oh, no. Wow.
So that's really going to help.
Okay.
You can even see, look, it changes depending on, you know, so if you're looking under that width, it gives different size for navigation, and then it just grows and grows and grows and grows. I mean, it almost looks too wide when it's on this really crazy width.
Yeah, but that's the normal desktop.
Yeah. No, I'm actually, this is wider than normal, so I think this is about normal, about 1024 is a typical width now.
Okay.
That's something you need to design to. Anyway, so I think I've talked about the main things I was going to mention. Any other questions? One of the about pages. Let's do the about page. I know
the about page is a big one, because you had said that there's some opportunity there. Also to get clicks on it. Yes,
exactly. So I did some quick research on this for you, and not many people are getting to this page. I think it's A, that's not very exciting, and then B, there's no other way to get to it, and your about module doesn't allow you to link to it. So making those fixes will get more traffic there, but it wasn't really converting very high. Unfortunately for your goal there, only about 6% of people were clicking on it, which you think more people would. It's good though. I think this is really what's more useful for the visitor. They don't really care as much about you. And
I try to make it more about them.
Exactly, make it more about them and what they can, how you can help them. So, but see here, like how big backlink can help grow your business. I think you could immediately grow into that, and then have the about you below, which you've kind of got. I think you could just put this title up here.
Okay.
Instead.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then I would have this be higher, have it immediately be under here.
Okay. So not so above the fold.
Yeah, above the fold, exactly. So people.
And how many do you think do you think I should put another one? Have two, one at the very bottom too?
Yeah, one at the very bottom as well, exactly. Well, because when you get to the bottom of the page, you're sending them the contact for Twitter.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, so have one at the bottom. You could have a more of a visual one. This one's fine that it's thinner, and I like this wording in here, exclusive. That's good. And but the bottom one, and mention the Neil Patel testimonial in there, and make it a bit exciting. I think that will help increase conversion.
Should I make it like at the bottom of a blog post, the same one or similar?
Yeah. Just try using that one.
Okay.
Using the tweaks that I'd mentioned, that would help.
Right.
I like how you've got rid of the sidebar. I need to do this to mine actually.
Okay. Yeah, I want to kind of focus. That's one of the reasons. I mean, you said it doesn't convert well, which it doesn't, but relatively speaking, compared to the site in general, it's like the highest converting page.
Sure.
And I think that's one of the things I wanted to do, like make it not distracting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but no, it's got the right. I think if you had to add a video instead of just this here, if you have a video of you being interviewed by someone famous, or I think that's going to be better than just having a static. It's a good photo. But you could do it more. And then,
yeah, you're right. You're right.
You just mention how long you've been doing this, how many people you've helped, and it's more. And you don't have any testimonials on here.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Just adding even one testimonial, include a picture of the person giving it. Not the Neil Patel one in this case. Just have it be a regular business owner or something.
Okay.
That's more relatable. That's going to help.
Okay.
Yes, but no, it's good, and I think with some just simple changes like that's really going to help you. Okay. And on here, I would also make these a bit more prominent. Your social media sharing.
Okay.
If I think you've got a decent amount of Twitter followers, and I think you can definitely get a lot more. So I have the follow me on Twitter icon, and then the and Facebook, and also the Google Plus. Right. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, the adding a visual opt-in, like at the end of your blog post, will definitely help. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And how about the free updates page? Because that's a page that's kind of a thorn in my side in a way, because I don't know what to do with it. Okay. And it looks a bit ghetto, let's be honest. So yeah. It could use a lot of design love, but I just don't even, the problem that what's holding me back is I don't even know what to do with this page. I know that Ramit Sethi at I Will Teach You to Be Rich, which we talked about the other day. Yeah, he's just a brilliant marketer in general, but he's got some pretty good landing pages. Yeah, sure, he does. Okay. But those are more specific. I mean, he actually redesigned his blog, didn't he, recently? Let's go back. Yeah, he did a couple months ago. I thought it looked better before, to be honest, but that's just my 2 cents. Yeah, it looks, I like how it looks very, very professional and cool, and looking, he's standing there, looking like he's a god. The homepage is great, right? He looks like a boss. It's a fantastic homepage, and how he's got all his products down here and all this social proof here. That's what I was mentioning. And yeah, but as soon as you get to his blog, it's a bit. I don't like the blog. It looks a little bit too. He's a little bit too ahead of the curve, I think. I think it's like 2015 looking. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's like from the future, and which is fine, but it wasn't. And I like how his navigation. He has a lot more, like you said, a lot of really compelling navigation buttons, right? Like earn more money, find your dreams out, like about who cares, right? Exactly. So, or contact. So I feel like you're right. This would be good having a why Brian. Yeah, it's good. It's really creative. He's a good person to emulate his stuff. Oh, this is another thing you can try as well, as adding this is a hello bar. I don't know why. Yeah, how have you found that? I have one on my site that it's just a plugin. If you look, that actually scrolls with it, and this is called a foo bar, so it always sticks up there. It does really well. I get a lot of effect to the things that I'm mentioning in here, often actually more than even my content in my sidebar. So, Hello Bar is good, but they charge you per click after you get a certain amount. So I would go with the Foo Bar, FOO. Does Hello Bar scroll down with you, or is that an option? Yeah, I think it is. I don't know why he hasn't been scrolling. It doesn't, right? No. I think there is an option. I haven't used it in a while. I did sign up to really stop because it seemed like it's just trying to take your money very quickly. Okay. So FooBar is much better, and it's very cheap. It's just a one-time fee. Okay. Use that instead. Sorry, we'll just go back to your site. The free updates. Yeah. So first of all, you need to match the background. Have at least look consistent. It's fine taking off the navigation. I would imagine it's not doing as well as it could, particularly that this is extremely generic. Enter your email. So even if you put the app on here, it's going to increase your conversion rates.
Right.
But at least you have it. And here we go. So I don't know who Streblo is. So yeah, that's a good example of a nice short, sweet testimonial.
Right.
Those are good. But put the photos next to them. It's going to help make it more obvious. And then I like this. This definitely works well here. Different alternative. You can test different headlines depending on the headline. It's going to impact your conversion rates there.
Okay. And how would you feel? I was thinking. I got a couple people that tweeted out that they like the newsletter. I was thinking of putting those instead of authority testimonial.
Yeah, sure, yeah, that would definitely help. But above here, these are fans of my newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
But I would really focus on this again, exclusive. Even even kind of bold that and change the color.
Right.
Make it a bit obvious. At least you can go back to the website quickly, which is good.
Yeah, it's not so much of a squeeze page in that sense, but it's definitely that's something that I kind of like put there because I wanted to use it, but I haven't dedicated enough time to making it a compelling page, as you can see.
Yeah, I mean just having a few more visuals on here of the newsletter will help. It's just a bit too texty, and it looks at. I've said this before about one of the other pages that you kind of in a similar vein. It almost looks a bit broken.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So at least having the background, having the gray sidebars,
sure,
is going to help. But yeah, just use some of those principles like I mentioned on the other opt-in boxes on there. Work pretty good. So we're already at about an hour. So any other quick you want to ask for wrapping up?
That's it, man. You just gave me a lot to do, but good advice, really great advice, actually. So I'm almost afraid to ask the question, so I'll give you more.
Sure. No, well, definitely. Let's get some A/B tests going. I can help you with, trying to get Visual Web Optimizer or Optimize leads set up, and you definitely have enough traffic on your homepage to test this area, the opt-in feature area. And even on some of your articles to test on the footer opt-in area, and then let's get an opt-in pop-up exit intent, and I think you're going to be instantly much happier.
I hope so, because this is something that I have, like I told you in the beginning, I haven't put enough effort into this. It's been like traffic crazy, and it's kind of addictive when you get traffic, right? Because in conversions, let's face it, unless you're rich paid, it's not as much fun as traffic. But it's more important. Like a wise man, Pat Flynn, once said, it's easier to double your conversions than to double your traffic. So. Oh
yeah, sure. I totally agree. I wish I could double my traffic actually. Maybe you can help me.
Well, it's not easy, but it's easier. It's both are hard.
All right. Well, anyone listening, I hope that you found this useful, and I definitely suggest you sign up for Brian's free updates. I get them, and he's really, as I said earlier, he's got some fantastic content. And so feel free to comment on this, and I'm going to write down some of the sites that I mentioned so you know what we were talking about for best practices. And thanks very much, Brian, and we'll definitely be talking soon.
Cool. Thanks, Rich. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a great day.
You too. See you later.